Welcome back to Morons at First Sight, the unofficial, official Married at First Sight podcast, where we break down the ins and outs and ins and outs and ins and outs of the morons at Married at First Sight. I'm Ricky, and
I'm Ari.
Welcome back. So now we're on episode 8 of Married at First Sight of season 7. Tell me, what did you think of this episode?
What even happened in this episode? They're just doing their day-to-day... Oh, phlegm alert.
That was gross.
It's okay. Yeah, they just are doing their day-to-day lives. It was kind of boring. But some of it got juicy.
I kind of laughed like the entire episode.
Yeah.
Like it was, yes, I agree that it was kind of boring, but it was spaced out enough. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Point is, I was laughing at a good amount of it, so maybe it wasn't as boring as I thought.
There's like a good amount of drama and dumb shit happening, for sure. Some of it was boring. Basically, Danielle and Bobby are boring because they're doing amazing, but otherwise, yeah. Let's jump in.
All right. So, how do you want to jump in? Who do you want to start with, or what do you want to start with? Was there a particular scene that tickled your fancy, or was there a couple that you want to start off with, or lay it on me?
I think we should start with Amber and Dave because I have the most notes on them. And they're just like crashing and burning.
I think everyone would have the most notes on them.
Yeah.
The audience at home is just like, yeah, Like
Amber and Dave.
They're watching along with us like, oh yeah, Amber and Dave. Like they're just fucking idiots.
They're not okay.
No, that is crashing and, like you said, crashing and burning so fast.
Yes.
So.
I guess we can start with the fact that Pastor Jim.
I thought it was Pastor Dave.
Pastor Dave. Okay. I'll take your word for it. He wanted them to rate their women, like for the men to rate their women. Which, by the way, I feel like when are the girls going to rate the guys, but whatever.
I was wondering that too. I was like, is there going to be a back and forth there?
I think next episode, maybe the chicks will meet up and they'll do it then.
I don't think it's going to happen. Because then it won't be organic.
It won't be dramatic either. Oh, that's true, because they already know. Well, all this to say that Dave gave Amber
7.5.
Yes, exactly. And
she lost her shit.
Yes, they were shopping for furniture and she lost it. And he was like, I thought that was a good rating, like, for where we're at, I basically don't know you still. And she was not okay with that. No. All of her insecurities came out. Which, by the way, I wrote in my notes, like, what a perfect place to drop that kind of a bomb on someone. Like, furniture shopping already kind of be like a stressful thing, It's like, like the IKEA is the test of the relationship type thing. Right.
But on top of that, then you throw in the 7.5 type thing.
Right.
And that's like the first instance I just started laughing my ass off during the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, furniture shopping's already a little bit stressful, I feel, with somebody. And then adding in that. But Amber's, like, reactions to things are so wild to me. Like, I don't know. Not everybody has to, like, take a long time to assess how they feel. Like, I get that maybe I'm somewhat of an outlier in that it takes me a while to, like, make those assessments. But just the fact that she, like, pops off ASAP, that's crazy to me. Like, and like, she was just like, what? Like, as soon as he told her, and I was like, whoa, did you even process this? Like, you're already mad. So, I don't know. She's kind of, I think he said that he feels like the relationship is one-sided because, like, I guess they agreed on certain tasks they would do around the house, and she hasn't held up her end of the bargain. And her defense was basically kind of being a selfish brat. Her saying she doesn't want to get married because she didn't want to do stuff. Yeah, she was like, I didn't want to get married because, like, I didn't want to be... Which, first of all, by the way, bitch, you wanted to get married because you went on the show Married at First Sight. Mm-hmm. Which is one of the most desperate things you could ever do. So, like, you wanted to get married. Which is so dumb. Please have us on. But for real, like, okay, so I don't know. That, to me, brought up actually a really interesting point of, like, when you're in a relationship and you kind of say things that are like a point of no return, and they're like things you can never get back.
Like an example?
Saying this is why I never wanted to get married to your husband. And he's just supposed to wake up the next morning and be like, it's all in the past. Like, even if they make up from that fight, that's just something that I think...
It's going to linger.
Yeah, how do you ever just be okay with that? Like, there's, I think, certain things in a relationship where they're like a point of no return, and you just shouldn't say them, because you can't make that other person not feel some type of way after that. It kind of shifts the mood, I feel like.
Well, she's very impulsive with her emotions, so it's like... It's hard for Amber to be a rational being and think these things through and not be like, blah.
Right. Well, what did you think about her excuse when she came back and was like, I'm just sabotaging because I have feelings for you? Which, by the way, I called it, I feel.
Did you?
Yeah, like 1 or 2 episodes ago, I was like, she's sabotaging this relationship.
Yes, you did say self-sabotaging, but yeah. I thought you meant you like called out like her excuse for it.
So now she said her excuse. She was like, oh, I'm sabotaging. Like, what do you... I'm curious to know what you...
I actually wrote on here, it was big of her to apologize.
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, all right, come on, Amber. I mean, you're still a dipshit, but, you know, that took a lot of word to be able to do that, I guess.
You think it took, like, courage for her?
Not courage.
Like,
that's not the word I'm looking for.
Like balls? No, that's courage.
But yeah, balls hold all the courage, you know.
Yeah.
She has no balls. It just, I don't know. It took something, you know, that I was like, all right, good for you.
Maybe some vulnerability or...
Maybe that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was okay. But I also was kind of like...
It's not a good excuse, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when you do something fucked up, just be like, I'm really sorry, that was wrong. I don't think, like, you need to try and overly justify your actions. Because to me, that seems like she'll probably do it again. Because she's just like, well, I have this crutch for, like, why I did it. It's like, sometimes, like, why you did something doesn't really matter. Like, just don't fucking do it.
Yeah. But in terms of this, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, she did practice a form of disclosure, which is something that's very important in relationships.
Yeah.
Whereas if, like, you know, the more you let yourself, you know, express through talking, see, I tried to sound smart there for a second, then I totally fucked it up. But she disclosed information about herself that no one would known about her otherwise, unless had she said something, which is a good platform to be able to invite someone else over for disclosure as well too. So like she opened herself up, which is also a good moment for Dave to share share as well, which should give him some kind of form of confidence and like, oh, at least now I know I can talk because she did practice disclosure. But
see, that was done after she was like, this is why I never wanted to get married and acted that way.
Well, yes,
so
after the fact,
automatically
it's
not a safe space for Dave, I feel. You know what I mean? Because think about it. He told her that he rated her 7.5, and he explained to her, like, first of all, I would not have, I don't know if he should have disclosed his rating to her, but whatever, he did. So
to be honest, if someone asked me that, if I rated someone in our and Dave's shoes, I'd probably do the exact same thing. Like, oh yeah, I rated you this.
Yeah, I guess I would. The way she went about it, though, it's like, if I were Dave, I would probably now be like, I can't really tell her shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it worth it? Like, if I tell her shit, if I'm real with her, like, it's just going to really ruin 2 days for me. So, might as well hang back. And that's not healthy, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I feel that the approach she could have taken that maybe would have been better. Because who, like, wouldn't be a little butthurt maybe over a 7.5, right? I'm not saying I'd be like, you know? Like, I'd be like, well.
Suck it to me.
Yeah, I'd be like, that sucks. But I guess I would just be like, well, what can I do better? Or, like, what's the issue? Like, what's keeping it from a 10? Like, tell me why that's happening, and then we can together fix it. Because you're fucking married. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, try it.
Good face there.
You know, so, I don't know. I mean, I can see their dysfunction just continuing. I don't see this as the end of it, personally.
Well, so you mean it's going to keep going, they're going to stay in the relationship but it's going to fall apart eventually.
Yeah, it's going to not.
Because that's just like an
these
obvious
issues they have
statement.
aren't going to be improving, I think. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're going to improve. They're going to keep being...
Yeah, because the way they're going, there's like, okay, so, they started off impersonal and now they're moving towards an interpersonal relationship.
Right.
And in that, you need comfort and confidence.
Yeah.
And which is like, they're totally going to the opposite side of that entirely. There's no confidence now, no comfort, and they're just going to fall apart. And then they're going to be its.
Yeah. And she's super insecure, which sucks. Like, I get it. Everybody feels ugly once in a while or a lot. But it's like she's got to chill out with that shit. You know what I mean? It's not...
I don't get it. She's hot, too. I mean, if you have a thing for William Dafoe.
Oh. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to say that she needs to trust that the person she's with gets boners for her. I mean, what other fucking proof do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't... All right. You know?
Good point.
Yeah, like Jessica Biel gives him boners. She also gives him boners. Great.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Anything else to say about them?
Not really. There was one like part where I started laughing where they're at the dinner with Pastor Dave. Jim. Wait. What is his actual name?
I don't know.
We're terrible at our own show.
Shit.
Well, whatever. The point is they were talking about all that stuff, and the camera cut to Dave as like a little solo thing right there. He's like, I'm busy here taking loads for this marriage, and I just laughed my ass off.
Yeah, he did say I'm taking loads, and I was like, wow.
So my exact notes. My first note says 7.5.
Dick off to Dave's face. It comes all over it. It's crazy.
He's taking all of Amber's cummy loads.
Her loads.
And apparently, Amber's not taking any of his loads. So there's where the problem is.
That's the problem.
She's not taking as many loads as Dave is.
It's the shift in the loads. Now, in a healthy marriage, the loads seem to balance out to a 50-50 load taking.
The loads are spread
ratio.
Plentifully.
Right. Sometimes it may be, okay, for example, an 80-20 loadage, all right? But it will eventually balance back and then may go this way, fucking seesaw, teeter-totter, and then, but it's got to all be 50-50 loads.
You got to balance the loads, people.
Right.
One load for you, one load for...
One load for him. Here a load, there a load, everywhere a load that I'm taking. Oh, my God. But if you're going to sign up for Married at First Sight, you should really be ready to take some heavy loads.
It's all...
Yeah.
It's a very loaded concept, but...
It's... Yeah.
Get ready for them loads. Speaking of loads, who's next? Are we done with the loads, or...
Hold up. One thing I did want to say is that Amber's feet, when she hugged Dave on the couch...
How dirty they were?
Filthy!
I saw that, too.
Oh,
it was
my
like
God.
fucking black.
They were black.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that noticed. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, man.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
She walking around, like, outdoors without any shoes on, like, 24/7?
Walking on coal? What's she doing? Like, I can't.
She's a hobbit. She's got onion-layered feet.
Whoa, I'm so sorry.
That was cute.
Thank you. She's got onion-layered feet. She walks around barefoot on garbage and hot coals. Like, I know those feet, I was like, get them off the couch. Get them off the couch. Like, that's... She's probably
That's
gonna
not
get
where
in
that
bed with those feet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it doesn't take that much to just kind of, like, there's enough dirt on there. I feel like she'd just wipe it off with her hands pretty much, and their feet would be clean instantly.
She needs to wear some shoes.
Some
Like,
protective footwear.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, anyway. Who do you want to talk about next? You pick.
I don't have a lot of notes on a lot of people.
All right, let's do Mia and Tristan.
All right. Because That was exactly, it went exactly as you said it went.
What was it? I can't even remember.
She had the dating app.
Yep.
She deleted it, but not the profile.
Yes.
It was inactive, which is exactly what you said.
Right.
But
yes,
it was fucking hilarious when Tristan was just like, I don't trust you.
He was like, I don't trust you. And she was like, I know.
It was like a fucking kid like yelling at a stranger in the park.
Right.
I don't trust you.
Right. Yeah, if my spouse just yelled that at me, I'd be like, I'm going to leave the house right now. Be back later. Like,
I'm going to go get a hot dog.
Yeah, it's just not going to be yelled at right now. So.
But yeah, he rated her an 8.
Yeah, which is pretty good considering she went to jail at the beginning of their marriage. Yeah. So that happened. The dating app, whatever. One thing I thought was interesting was the concept of emotional blackmail.
I wrote that about too, like taking the ring off, and I was like, there aren't very many times where I agree with the experts, but today's episode, I was like, man,
yeah,
you guys actually seem like you're actually trying to help these people out and not make a reality TV show.
Right.
What the hell?
Yeah, their advice was pretty good. Like, that kind of goes along, I think, with, like, the point of no return stuff. Like, emotional blackmail. Yeah. Like, being like, you know, I wish I never would have gotten married. Or, like, taking your ring off. Like, you really shouldn't be, like, going down those roads unless you're actually going to divorce.
There's just, like, after that, too, it's like, it sounds like just crying wolf type thing.
Right. And so, like, it's really cruel, I think, to do that to your partner because it's confusing and it's like, I don't know, I think a lot of times people do it because they want a certain reaction out of the other person. Like they want the other person to do something, but it's not. Yeah, it's like a cry wolf situation. And that sucks. Because imagine if Tristan just kept taking his ring off by like the 6th time, she'd be like, fuck it, he's going to put it back on.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
it has no emotional weight to it anymore.
Right.
The load doesn't hold as well.
Yeah, it's a heavy load, and you take it once, and it's like you keep taking it, you're going to be desensitized to that load.
Yeah.
Right.
And you want to be sensitive to a load.
Definitely want to be extremely sensitive. I can't. Stop, it's so gross. But yeah, emotional blackmail was an interesting concept that I thought, I don't know.
There really isn't much to comment other than that. You're right. It was interesting.
Yeah,
it's like, good. Oh, okay, wow. Another expert saying something smart for once.
Right.
And it looks like they're doing all right, I guess, now. Like, they went bowling and were like, whoa, we're all hunky-dory.
We're bowling. And did you see that big-ass funnel cake that they had?
Yes, I was looking at that. I wanted it.
I know, that looks so
I wanted some fucking
good.
funnel cake.
Right. It was like a huge slab, and it just had a torn up funnel cake all over it.
At first, I didn't even realize what it was. I was like, are those chicken nuggets laying all over the fucking table?
Right.
But no.
I thought they were nuggets too.
Yeah. No, that's...
It was funnel cake.
Yeah, once you see the white powder on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That looked so good. Do you ever be like eating a funnel cake and it has the powdered sugar all over it and you pick it up? And I might have asked you this before, and you're like so excited, and you're like, and you breathe in the powder, and then you immediately start choking. You're just so excited to eat the funnel cake, and now you're choking on powdered or confectionery sugar.
You've never asked me that before in my life, but
really?
I do have experience with that.
Yeah.
Because that happened to me one time when I was at the Nats game where I had a funnel cake. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then you're just dying inside.
Because you're so excited, and you're like immediately start choking. Yeah. And it's like a beautiful moment turns into.
Why didn't they show that on the fucking episode?
Yeah, why didn't they show
the moment of me and Tristan choking on powdered sugar is like, oh, I love you, babe. Oh, which also reminds me, now that I just said that thing. Tristan even said while you're in the bed was yelling, I don't trust you. He's like, I'm not in love with you. 10 minutes later into the episode, he's like, all right, I love you.
Yeah, and that's just another thing which we kind of
so fucking confusing.
About. You know how much it would piss me off if I was with someone and they're like, love you, and then I was like, oh, fuck, this person loves me, and they're like, but listen, I'm not in love with you. I'd be like, then shut the fuck up. Why'd you say anything? Like, And then when you're fighting with someone and to be like, I'm not in love with you, and this is what's holding me back from being in love with you. It's like, well, there are some things you could get a fucking diary for and not yell at me in an argument. Like, that was like...
You're all about having these diaries.
Yeah, everybody needs a fucking journal. So you can,
whoa.
Kind of... It helps, I feel, because then, otherwise, like, if Tristan had a diary or a journal... He wouldn't be yelling this stuff at Mia. He would have wrote it in his journal. And then he would have looked at it and he would have been like, yeah, I can't say that. It's hurtful.
Do you have a journal?
Yeah. Of course.
I mean, I'd be pretty upset if you didn't have a journal at this point. Because this is like the third episode that you've been like, someone get this dude a fucking journal.
Practice what you preach. Yeah, I have a journal. That's why when people say stuff to me, it takes me a while to assess it. Because I'm like... hit the journal because I'm not gonna say something I regret. Like, okay, yeah, he needs a journal, dude, to write all about love when you're not in love.
I've never had a journal. I've written things down for myself though, and then erased it later on things. But I've never like kept. I remember elementary school for the Scholastic Book Fair. I bought a journal just because it had a little key combination, and I think I just started like drawing dicks in it or something.
That's one way to use a journal. But those book fairs were lit. My parents would never give me money for those.
That's how I discovered Calvin and Hobbes, one of the greatest comic strips of all time.
That is your favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Calvin was at the Scholastic Book Fair, and Franklin. Franklin the Turtle.
Franklin, yeah. See, I was never allowed to get anything at the Scholastic Book Fair. My parents were like, waste of money. And they would just take me to the library and get, like, the books I want. Like, I would write a list of the books I saw at the book fair. And I'd have to go wait and check them out at the library. Wow,
that seems devastating as a child because you're just like, I want to be a part of all of this. But it seems like a very smart idea, actually. Just be like, oh, let's save some money.
Yeah, as a parent, I get it. It's like, wow, you're going to go to the book fair and blow a bunch of money on erasers. I did get a butterfly eraser, though, because I got lunch money and I didn't use it. Instead, I took it to the book fair, and I got this butterfly, like, neon eraser top that I still remember. And
did you, like, run home and be like, take that, Dad, I got something anyways?
No, I had to keep it a secret. I was just like, I got this shit. And then we went to the library, and I got all my books. But that's where I discovered Bunnicula.
What the fuck is Bunnicula?
Oh, my God. Those are my favorite books growing up. It's like the bunny who sucks all the juice out of the... vegetables.
I've never heard of
Dracula, Bunny Dracula.
No, never heard of that.
Oh my God, they're so lit. Anyway.
All right, after show conversation.
Yeah, journals.
Yeah. Tristan needs to keep a journal.
Yes, he needs a fucking journal. Everybody needs a journal. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, just get your feelings out. But you're not somebody who is like, you're not really, like, very irrational. I don't know that it would be good to have a journal for your personal feelings, but it's not, I don't think you're ever going to just irrationally, like, scream things at someone or blow up on them. You're not like that.
Used to be.
Until your journal? Just kidding.
Until I got a journal, yeah.
No, until that Scholastic Book Fair.
No, actually, when I was a teenager, I was much more irrational with my emotions.
Well, yeah, you're fucking hormonal.
Yeah, but it's like, I remember the girl I was dating, like, one thing would just set me off, and then I'd hold it in and be like, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. And then another thing would set me off and be like, it's coming out. Right,
you'd be like, the needle that broke. Or whatever. They hate something that broke camel's back.
Yeah, straw that broke the camel's back. I remember driving her home one time, and she said something, and I was just driving, and I just started punching the roof of my car. I was like, not fucking dealing with this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you would hold it in and then have crazy resentment.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But then I learned that I was like, oh, wait, I can just tell you my emotions and what I feel, and that's going to resolve that issue?
I can express myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can avoid all this pain and turmoil just by talking about it.
Right.
And ever since I learned that,
it's all good.
Yeah, all good. Never had that happen again.
And you're not really afraid to, like, talk about stuff either. If you feel something or think something, I feel like...
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, If I don't know how the person's going to receive what I say,
right,
then I kind of like test the waters, you know? But if I'm pretty comfortable with the person, they'll ask whatever. I'll be like, yeah, whatever. This, that, and that. So.
Well, I'm still working on that portion of verbalizing.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks every time trying to verbalize any emotion or anything you says. And like that's the same way I deal with confrontation, you know? It's like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
It takes all the energy in me to confront someone or do something like things. But afterwards, I'm always just like, wow.
That was easy.
No. It's never easy.
No.
It's never easy. But afterwards, I'm like, that was worth it.
Yeah, worth it. That's a good way to put
it. Yeah, it was worth it, but it's never easy having to talk about something.
Well, you and I both avoid confrontation.
What?
As much as humanly possible, I feel.
That's not true. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's avoid this subject.
What are you talking about anyway?
Moving on.
Ugh. Yeah, but anyway, Tristan needs a journal so he doesn't blast his fucking emotions out on me.
That's what we're really getting at. Get the fucking journal.
I'm getting tired of it. Like, everybody needs a journal.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, there really wasn't that much to say. I mean, I did like Tristans Dance when he was born. He's like, oh, Big Daddy, ooh, something like, no, Grandpa Daddy, Grandpa. Yeah. I can remember what it was, but I was like,
Grandpa Daddy. I don't know if it was that.
Well, it's gonna go with Grandpa Daddy then. Grandpa Daddy, Grandpa Daddy. Oh,
yeah. Oh.
I do this shit on camera.
Oh, Grandpa Daddy. Yeah. Yeah, that's nothing else to say except I guess she doesn't have Tinder. I do find it somewhat suspicious, I will say. As someone who's suspicious all the time, as you know. I find it suspicious that she... Okay, here's the thing about her profile being deactivated, but still showing up. Eventually, when you delete those dating apps, I'm pretty sure that you need to be active. There's like an algorithm where you have to be actively swiping within a certain time frame to show up on other people's feed. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, a waste of time, and it'll just throw you out of the fucking lineup or the queue, right? So, that being said... Which, as we know, last episode I said this did happen to me, and I did show up, but I had deleted the app. But this was like a day into dating that happened. Right?
Yeah, they've been married for like 3 weeks at this point.
It's been, I think, almost 4 weeks because we're on episode 8. It's been almost 4 weeks, so I find it hard to believe that she hasn't done anything in a month.
So what you're saying,
and it's still showing up, but that's just
me.
So
I was going to say I kind of relate to that because, like, I don't know if I believe her either. Yeah. Because, like Tristan, I feel like I don't trust her either.
I don't trust you.
She broke my trust, too, by getting arrested.
And then lying about it.
Uh-huh.
Which I get. I totally get the situation. I get why she was maybe not as honest and was uncomfortable.
She broke America's trust.
She broke lifetime viewers' trust.
That's like not just Tristan. Tristan's got a whole army behind him of untrusting victims.
We all need journals after this episode.
Hold on, I gotta write some shit down, babe.
But for real, like, so I'm just gonna leave that there and say something to think about.
It's gonna come back and bite him.
Yeah, and I will say another thing. Who still uses Tinder? Like, what? People still use Tinder? I thought people used, like, Bumble now.
Yeah, I use Bumble. Yeah. Bumble and OkCupid.
Yeah.
Because OkCupid, you can add a little bit more to your profile. You can, like, set yourself out. So that way, for, like, Bumble, it's hard for me to set myself apart because I just put, like, a dumb message on there.
Right.
OkCupid, I can go in, like, whoa, brief detail, bunch of detail and be like, it makes it easier. So that way I can be like, let's get this out of the way, everything, jump in head first.
I've never used that. So I don't know. I used Bumble like, gosh, it's been like a year, I think, since I've had those. So I didn't know people still, I don't think I've used Tinder since I was like 22. No, I'm 23. I don't know.
I've got one date off Tinder once. And that was when I went on this date with this girl on my 28th birthday. We went out to Old Town, went to Monza's.
Damn.
And I was like, you want to do this again? She's like, yeah. And then I was tried kissing her, and then it didn't work. So I was like, see you later.
I don't want to do this again. Bye.
And then we never really texted each other ever again.
Oh.
No, I texted her a couple times, and just kind of fizzled out.
That's the Tinder story.
I think it's because I kept saying her name wrong.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to say her name now, but it's a complicated name.
Tell me after the podcast. But if some guy kept calling me Ariana or Ari.
Well, your name's not Ariana?
Ari.
Your name's not Ariana?
Ariana. Yeah, I would probably be like, well, I can't have sex with you now. I just can't.
Scream the wrong name.
Good times on Tinder. I got 2 boyfriends off Tinder.
Damn. That's far more successful than I have.
That was a long time ago. I said their names right, though, so...
Fuck you. How about that?
The game on that. Okay, anyway.
On to our golden couple.
On to your favorite couple.
They're not my favorite. I mean, they kind of are, but at the same time,
They're doing amazing.
Everything about them is great.
He even gave Danielle a 10.
And he was genuine about it, too. Like, you could tell, like exactly like Pastor Dave's like, wow, you're saying that with conviction. He's like, yeah. Best experience of my life. Didn't have to think for a second before giving that answer. The camera didn't cut away or anything, so you know that was like, boom, 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 instantly.
And I believe
best
him.
thing. Yeah.
Here's the thing about them that I was thinking about when I was watching this. I was like, God, like everything's so good. Here's the thing: when you're first dating someone, I know they're married, but when you're first with someone, it should be like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like everything should be pretty really good a lot.
Pretty really good.
Pretty really good a lot. I'm like, you shouldn't be having.
I think we found an episode title. Pretty really good a lot.
Good a lot. It should be though, like, because it's only been a month. You shouldn't be dating someone for a month and having all these issues. Like the issues Amber and Dave are having, the issues me and Tristan are having for real. The first 6 months should be just honestly really fucking good, because this is when people are on their best behavior. If you're already having problems 3 weeks in, fuck that. Yeah, that's a red flag. No. So that made me feel a little better. I was like, you know what? He should be rating her a 10 right now, because he literally doesn't know shit about her. And so everything he knows is great. Mm-hmm. So that's all they're doing is banging and having fun. Yeah, dude, that's a 10.
I envy them. There's bastards.
Because they went on Married at First Sight.
I envy that. That's why I started the podcast. I want to be on the show.
I want to be married at first sight so bad.
I want to find the love of my life to do everything for me.
I want to find someone who, I don't have any goals, but I want them to, help me with goals, but, not specific goals. That's what Mia said. Remember? If I, had a goal and there was, some kind of goal, then,
That was good paraphrasing.
Thanks. What else about them? Bobby's in love with her. She's in love with him. Which,
by the way, I thought was hilarious conversation because, obviously, if you guys have watched the episode, you know what we're talking about. But if you haven't watched it, why the fuck are you watching us anyways? Actually, you should watch us anyways because
you're huge fans.
Yeah, look at us. We're fucking great to look at and listen to.
I don't. Yeah.
But Pastor Dave went on to say, love is
Yeah. He said, I wrote it down, love is a commitment to fulfilling someone's needs. It's a desire and a choice. It's not just something you stumble into and accidentally fall into. Yeah. Love is a choice. Stop.
Go on.
That's it.
Yes. Okay. And then Bobby and Danielle were laying in bed and he was like, listen to all this information I learned and stuff like that. And he's telling her all about love and things. And I was like, are they going to say I love you right now on camera right in front of her bed? And then it gets awkward silence. And then and then he ends it with so that was nice.
He goes, so that was nice.
And then they kind of just looked at each other and then looked away.
And they're like, good night.
Yeah. And that's when that was another moment where I just started laughing my ass off. I was just.
Yeah. I laughed too. I was like, that would have been the time to say.
So let me tell you about all this concept of love and everything like that. Right. But that's nice.
Yeah, let me explain in detail the concept of love that Pastor, whatever his name is, told us about, and how I wholeheartedly agree with it, and I believe that's what love is, and, like, I totally can get that, and, like, I can see how you could feel that. Good night! Like...
Peace, y'all.
Okay? Yeah. Like, well... But they... You know what's funny, though? They're so on the same page, and they're, like, so in sync, because... He was like, yeah, like, I feel that way, but I'm not ready to express it yet, but the time will come where I am, and this is it. And then it cuts to her, and she's alone. She's like, I feel that way, but I'm not ready to express it yet, but the time will come, which I think is great. Like, I think when you kind of love someone and you realize, okay, I'm in love with this person, you're not just like, hey, I think I'm in love. I love you. Like, you know, take time and decide.
You think about it.
When does it feel right? And yeah, I think they're on the right fucking track, dude.
Yeah, those dicks.
They're doing good, and I'm happy for them.
So there's the part where Danielle is like, I'm going to make a pork chop right now for you and show you.
Yeah.
You know how much I wanted that pork chop just to taste fucking terrible? I wanted it to taste like shit so bad so I could have something negative to say about them on this recording.
God.
Like, I was like, Bobby, you take a bite of that pork chop, you spit it out, and you tell her how fucking terrible of a cook she is.
Well,
but it was out of the park.
Stay tuned. Maybe he got a brain parasite from it being undercooked. Just wait. We have to just
That's
work
right.
on this one, Ricky.
You know what? The thing I noticed about them too, they're roasting each other.
Yeah.
Which is like
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Being able to roast, because he was just like, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know what medium rare is for pork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she said something too. I was like,
yeah, they kind of bust each other's balls.
Yeah.
Which is, definitely what you want.
and I was just like, they get it.
No, yeah.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah, they're good together. Because, right, they're like, God damn. Oh, excuse me. I mean to take God's name in vain. Anyone who's offended by that.
Sorry, Dave, Mia, and Tristan.
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I don't know if Danielle or Bobby are religious. They never really went into that.
Yeah, I don't know. We know Amber thinks anyone who's religious is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no, it's like they have a friendship. They're getting comfortable with each other, but they're still in that little dating phase where you're kind of like around each other, you know? Like they still have that. I think it's so cute. So I love them.
Yeah, so I think it's timely fine.
Yeah.
Finally time to say goodbye to psychotic Bobby.
No. And I'll tell you why. He hysterically cried in the pre-cap.
That's right.
On the back of a golf cart.
I think they're going to oversell that, though.
Oh, 100% that's oversold. I was thinking that when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else did they show in the pre-cap?
Mia's sister needs some boundaries. She was like, Mia was like, yeah, you know, whatever. We're in fucking Dallas now, but like, his family's in Houston. We might move to Houston, which like.
Oh, that's right. She's like, what the fuck are you making decisions for? I was like, well, it's her whole goddamn relationship.
Fucking dumb. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, first off, don't bring that shit up in front of everyone. Pull your sister aside and be like, hey, that might be a bad idea.
Yeah. And none of her business. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like, okay, well, you're not in this relationship, and that's what Mia's choosing to do. So, I don't know. If that's what she needs to do to make her fucking relationship work, maybe support her. Or, I don't know. I think yelling in a restaurant, that's fucking dumb. Hey, guess what? Another person who needs a journal. So they can write their feelings down.
Get yourself a goddamn journal.
So one more person who needs a journal so they don't blast shit out. Yeah, so she needs to put some boundaries down with her family, though, because they're a little too opinionated on what she does.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I can feel that.
Bobby cries over Danielle. Dave tells Amber, okay, Dave and Amber go on a romantic date on a horse-drawn carriage.
Your perfume's too strong.
Oh, he said, you smell overpowering.
Do you think that's that bad of a thing to say, though?
If somebody said you smell overpowering to me, I'd be like, okay. Like, I'd just be like, do you not like this perfume? And then maybe not wear it again. I wouldn't personally care.
Yeah, I feel like that wasn't that big of a thing to say.
Yeah.
But then it showed
we're talking about Amber.
Yeah, her face just went to pure disgust. Like, oh, he thinks I smell bad now.
You
it's like
ruined her night.
Yeah.
You ruined the whole date.
I'm just like, dude, if you smell... Perfume can still smell nice, but if there's too much of it, yeah, it can be overpowering.
Yeah, and I don't know. If somebody said that, just be like, okay. Like, who? She's so, like, this stuff gives me a tummy ache and, like, borderline... I'm not trying to share too much, but I'll just say this. Like, borderline PTSD of, like, when you think you're just having a really good time with somebody and you think everything's okay, and then something happens and they just pop off and you're like, oh, my God.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, you're like, where'd that come from? The night's ruined. That shit makes my tummy hurt. Like, watching her be like that, I was like, oh. I don't like it. Like,
well, let's hopefully that will make for an interesting episode next week.
Yeah, I think Dave's gonna get really fed up really fast.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel for Dave now.
Me too, big time.
All right, so let's go through this. Who's going to last? I mean, that's just a dumb question at this point. Who's going to last at this point during...
Danielle and Bob.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were going to pick that one.
I did. Yeah.
All right, top
and
moron.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top moron.
Top moron. You say yours. Who's yours?
Amber. It's always Amber.
Right.
Amber's always the moron.
Why?
Because she needs to clean her goddamn feet. That's why.
Oh my God. So true.
She needs to learn how to work on herself, get rid of some insecurity issues.
And scrub them feet.
And scrub them goddamn feet.
Scrub them gams. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to choose... Okay, Danielle and Bobby are out. I don't know. I guess Amber, but I want to choose someone different than you. I'm going to choose... I'm going to choose Tristan.
You just have to be different, huh?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to choose Tristan because I don't know. I'm just choosing him.
Because he used emotional blackmail?
Yeah, because he used emotional blackmail and he yelled at Mia's face. And he needs to, I don't know, I understand trust needs to be built over time and it was broken and blah, blah. But at the same time, you're choosing to stay in this. So you really need to kind of start working with your partner to get over it and feel like you're going through it together. And like, there's going to come a point where he needs to like, again, get a journal. Like, because he's just work his shit out. You know what I'm saying? How frustrating would it be to be with someone and they're like, you know what, I forgive you and I'm going to stay with you. And then they're like, I don't trust you. Like, it's just like, that shit's probably really tiring, dude. So I'm choosing him.
I just want to see him like kicking and screaming just on his back. Just like, I don't trust you.
And she just like comes and like gently places a pacifier in his mouth and like a notebook and a pencil in his hand. She's like, shh, let it out. He's like, okay, no.
And then he starts rewriting in big letters, I don't trust her.
Yeah, and then he's like, I don't trust you. Like, okay, we get it. Yeah, so I'm choosing him because he needs to get his emotions square.
Mm-hmm. Man, usually Tristan's your boy.
I like Tristan because I know he's a sweet person, but he's being a little too much a victim right now, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sold.
So
all right.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week. That's where we call it quits today. You know the spiel. Subscribe, watch it, eat it. Smell it, touch it.
Take the load.
Take the load.
Bye.
Bye.